Welcome everybody to episode 310 of the effing title. I'm Sweaty Husky.
And I'm Burpy DeNutte.
And it is just a heat wave right now, and it's miserable.
It's going to be worse tomorrow.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I was told earlier that it was supposed to be better tomorrow, so...
Oh, no, it's going to be hotter tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Hotter and more humid.
Good.
Yeah.
So, MagicCon Vegas was this weekend. I think it was Vegas. I don't fully remember now. We'll find out here in a second.
I think it was Vegas, yeah.
Once we press...
Vegas sounds right.
Yeah, I think it sounds right, but I don't remember. So once we press play on the video, though, we'll find out. But it was MagicCon weekend. It was MagicCon weekend. They always do their preview panel. And I think for the last couple, maybe like 4 of these, something like that. For the last amount of these, whenever they've done a preview panel, we always either watch it, and then at the end say, like, hey, we're kind of excited about this. We don't give two shits about this. Or we just talk about Magic when it is MagicCon weekend. So it's one of the two. This one, there's a preview panel for it. I've seen bits and pieces, as you can see from some of the things that are here. You have no idea what it is.
Elves. Yeah, no, I don't.
I mean, this one right here, you might.
Elves.
This one.
Yeah, Avatar.
Yeah, that one you
Which
might
is
not.
cool.
But, like, yeah. So, so we're going to get into this. We got a whole hour of this to watch.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Man Stage here at MagicCon Las Vegas for the first time this weekend. It is so fantastic to see all of your beautiful, shining, smiling faces ready to get stuck into the preview panel for today. Who's excited to see some new Magic cards?
Are you excited, DeNutte?
Oh, Magic cards.
We have
Magic cards.
A jam-packed schedule of stuff to talk about.
Actually, I had a long conversation about Magic this week on Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
And you're going to be amongst
the
first in the world.
I went to a birthday party for a buddy, and his stepbrother. Yeah, this is just, we don't need, who cares? I was a birthday party for a buddy of mine, his stepbrother, who is actually closer to my age, who I was also friends with. We were just talking about games, because he got a Steam Deck. He's been playing a lot of games on the Steam Deck. He's got a kid, and then he was talking, somehow we ended up talking about Magic. He's like, oh. He's like, he was in the Air Force, and when he lived in California, and he's like, when I was out in California, I was playing a lot of Magic.
Man, a lot of Magic.
So he's like, I miss it.
I miss it. It's funny because there's one of the things we were going to talk about potentially, where it's like a lot of the fan base is divided right now. It feels like.
Yeah.
And it is only going to be worse after this, I think. Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jadine. I am the play design lead for Magic game design at Wizards. Which
she looks like she plays Magic.
I spend a lot of time thinking about the final numbers and the final effects we're going to put on all the cards, and very excited to talk to you about Edge of Eternities today.
Street.
Over to you, Mike.
Yeah, like they're just like, hey, we need some like art models.
Hello, MagicCon
See,
Vegas.
Mike I've seen before.
I'm Mike Turian,
like these two,
producer,
these two are like
Magic the Gathering,
OG Magic players. The two on the right are like, yeah, we like art.
Sets, including Edge of Eternities. Really
excited to talk sounds like a huge dig on
as
all
well
four
as
of
other
them.
sets like the Lord of the Rings, Duskmourn, and so many more.
Also a Magic Hall of Famer as well. He keeps that one quiet. Sarah.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sarah Wassel. I'm a senior art director in the Magic Studio. I work on the collectibility.
If you don't see, my face is shocked.
And design cool frames and really just try to expand the world of what Magic looks like and make it as fun for all of you as possible.
I do like your shirt though.
And I'm Roy Graham. I'm the story lead for Magic.
I
work with our authors to bring Magic stories to life.
We've seen him before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like we have, yeah.
Situations.
I just don't. I didn't know he was.
I
don't know. Just know he was a tattooed
something
guy.
really special.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's great to have our panel assembled up here to talk about, so much today, not just Edge of Eternities, but we are starting with the Edge of Eternities here to talk about what's coming up in this set, both from a structural, mechanical, gameplay standpoint, but also, Roy, as we open things up with you, talking about its setting, right?
Hey,
and I wonder if you could open things up for us here, Roy, by talking about what is, when we talk about the Edge of Eternities, what is the Edge?
Sure. So
well,
the Edge
see.
is The analogy
Can you push me to the edge?
Did you see the smile on his face when he said that?
Is, as an orange. So the Magic multiverse, as you know it, is the flesh of the orange. The planes are the seeds of the orange, and at its
I know
center,
this is a small thing.
That's
If he says,
Yeah.
one more time,
is the skin of the
I'm
orange. It is the
gonna
farthest thing
lose
I was gonna
my-
say
outside
the quality
design
of this
eternities,
recording is pretty
the
low
edge
for
of
them.
known creation.
It's
And
shaking,
that
too.
is where
It's
our
not
story
like-
takes place and where this
It's
set
in
takes
Vegas.
place.
To do this on
So
the camera
this
is probably
is,
shit-faced.
somewhat an uncharted region for us in both a story sense, but also
This
just
is-
the setting.
yeah,
that
this
it
is weird.
Right?
It's in
This is a
space.
space fantasy set. It obviously takes cues from sci-fi and other world building aspects that we'd be
Cheers.
familiar with from that. So can you
It's,
tell us a little bit about
just
what that was
custom
like,
beer.
Roy, bringing
Oh,
that
okay.
to
Travis
Magic
Kelce.
and
Any good?
the challenges involved with
Oh,
that
it's great.
setting
Yeah.
being brought to life in this.
It's out actually out
in
of
this-
Ohio. It was
in
originally
this
Baxter
card game.
Brewing.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
It's a
I
whole
mean,
thing. It's a really good microbrewery.
The
but
thing that I really want to make clear, we're talking about the orange, the orange of the multiverse and all of that. The Edge is more than just another Magic plane, right? It's this is your introduction. This set is going to be your introduction to a whole new setting for Magic. Our science fantasy setting.
Great.
And the Edge itself is vast. It's think like
If you can't tell,
an
I'm
entire
thrilled.
galaxy, a universe even.
know.
So
It
Edge
just,
Eternities, this set in particular.
everything
takes
seems to
place
go in a weird
one
direction.
Yeah, you ain't
recently,
kidding. Like, it's-
incorporated corner of the Edge, the Cythera system, which
Push me to the
is
edge.
a
All my friends are dead.
collection of
Push me to a
planets,
limit.
each one aligned with like one of the primary
That's all I
colors
could think
of
of, sorry.
Magic, along with at its center the star Cythera, which had been going supernova until the Monoists, who will meet soon with their dark sciences, partially collapsed it into a magical black hole called a supervoid. So
Wait till you see the card.
pretty exciting.
It looks like a proxy.
And in that space,
It looks like they made a special card just for this set, and it looks like a super fancy proxy that someone made.
You'll find
It's hilarious.
planets, of course, spaceships, aliens, cosmic mysteries, space pirates, all of that.
All I know is that Kavus are
And
returning,
the
and that makes me
two,
excited.
Great powers
What are
that
those?
have come
Kavus are like
to,
giant, like lizards.
battle over the fate of the
Space
system, the
lizards.
Monoists,
Yeah.
those black hole worshippers we're going to talk about at some point, and the Solar Knights of the Sunstar Free Company with heroes and villains and
Solar Knights.
scoundrels somewhere in between, all playing.
Wonder
out
what
their
color
own
those would be, DeNutte.
So obviously there's a lot
So,
going on.
when do we get a
with
Dune
this.
set?
We've got a vast
See, that's the thing. Is like
interstellar
I
light
think a
setting
Dune set
for
would be
us
sick.
to explore here.
Yeah.
Mike, I want to bring you in at this point.
But then that also
and talk
introduces the
about
whole
some of
issue
the
of
aspects
universes
of the
beyond,
Eternities in
and
terms
everyone's
of what is
hating that
both,
right now.
familiar
However,
and what is new
Well, not everyone.
in Edge
I
of
want Paul
Eternities.
Atreides.
What are some of the themes that we're going to see emerge, both new and
Shai
familiar,
Hulud.
with this set?
Yeah, so the Edge is it's a space fantasy setting, right? And we have
The
these
logo
mighty
looks sick. I'm not gonna,
interstellar
like-
powers that are.
There's a lot of this stuff
are
that looks like. Look at that. The
competing and
artwork looks
clashing
sick.
over Cythera.
It's
the
very
Superboy
Dune.
that-
I remember now that I
Roy
see
was
it again. I'm like,
talking
oh yeah,
about.
we did
So-
talk about this.
And then in terms of the familiar, right?
We're just seeing a lot
these
more today
systems,
than what we saw
they
last
generate
time.
Fairy
mana
Dune,
and
the Sun
aether.
Eater.
And so
Will of the
lands are
Many
something
will
that
throw
are
out
going to
all
be a
these
really
dumb
popular theme and something
novels.
that we
Yeah, 'cause those are the
really
knights.
tapped into a lot of.
Yes.
We'll explore some of the mechanical themes of the set as obviously we begin to show off actual cards themselves. But as we continue our exploration of the creative side of this set, and in particular the way that this
I was about to
new
say, I was
region,
feeling
this
messed up.
new
But-
vast expanse was brought to life. Sarah,
as we
I wanna
go to
ask
this
you
new
about,
region, because
what it
we've
was like
so
to-
bored with
to
all of the
bring
normal
the
fantasy
Eternities
things.
to
Now
life
let's go to
on
space
cards,
fantasy.
Challenges that were involved,
Fantasy's
the,
all-
the high concepts
kinda-
of
played it
science
out.
fiction.
Yeah, we've done all the normal
science
stuff.
fantasy.
Now
How
let's do
was that,
sci-fi.
addressed by you and your team when trying to again bring this to life on these cards?
Yeah, I mean, one of the great things about this set is that, because it's such new territory for Magic.
I like that pattern.
so many artists and so many people in our
Jumpsuit?
studio were just like
Oh,
super
wow.
psyched to work on this. You know, this was like years
Yeah,
of
that looks great.
Yeah,
Those
those look cool.
We were all
Yeah.
so excited about
Like,
it. We had so many
that was
artists
cool.
reaching out saying, "Hey, I've heard that you're doing this."
Like that's
Can
the
I get
thing
in
is
on
like
it?"
it's
You
like
know, because
space
our,
just feels like a weird
artists
thing
that
for
do
Magic,
amazing land,
but then they show this shit
things
and it's
like
like,
land art,
okay, it
we've
looks
never
cool.
really had the chance
Still
to
feels weird,
paint
but it looks cool.
Things like this, and
It's not-
with this
everything-
set, scale was a really,
I don't think
really
they put out stuff
important
that's
thing. You know,
ugly.
Like, generally in
Fair.
a Magic set,
Maybe-
you have like a giant or a mountain. You know,
maybe
we do
they
things
put
called
stuff out that,
scale
like,
birds, which are, like
is
little
your
guys
fancy.
that
Misrepresents
show
what
you,
they,
like, oh, okay, oh my
said
gosh,
it was
this
gonna
thing
be.
is really
Yes.
huge. So in this set, we got to do
Oh,
scale.
the middle one there looks
Because
sick.
it's a
Yeah.
slightly larger scale
Yeah,
required
yeah.
than what we'd get away
I
with.
just want to know about the
birds,
space
yeah.
whales. So.
Yeah.
One of the things as well, I noticed when looking at some of the art and the world building that came out of this is there's also it taps into stuff that we as an audience are familiar with when it comes to this sort of setting, science fiction, the role that has played in popular media for decades as well. That's something that's been harnessed as well in a lot of the art.
Yeah, that's really true.
Honest.
Oh
you
my
know,
God!
like,
Watch
science fiction
with
has
some
this
of
really
the sets,
interesting thing
they
of,
do like a little
you know,
mini,
it always feels like it's far in our future.
like Universes
And
Beyond.
But to create
So, like, with
those
Ixalan, they
visuals
did
and to
Jurassic
make those
Park.
stories about that, we
What
still
if
have
they
to
did? What if they did
germinate
Star
that
Trek
from
with
seeds of
this?
what's happening now and things that are familiar? Because if it's completely alien, you know, it's
I don't-
really
they would
hard
just
for
have to
people
be a secret.
Needs to be
emotionally
convincing.
connect to.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's
That or,
always
like,
this
Stargate.
really fun,
Oh my
like,
God, imagine
retro
if it was
future,
Stargate.
vintage future that kind of gets combined in it, and it's such a
Or
fun
just Dune.
space for a video to
Dune?
play in.
No, dude.
It's
Yeah.
There's
so-
some really cool
it's so fitting to that
retro
universe.
futuristic card
Then again,
styles
Transformers
and
wasn't
treatments we're
fitting
going to
to,
show you as we get to these cards. But
That was
still talking about the
the Brothers
creative side of
War.
it.
Yeah.
Roy, I want to come back to you and talk
Look
about
at you
this idea of
pulling that
scale,
out. I was trying.
right?
I was trying to figure out
This,
which one it
again,
was.
we've used this word a
Bang.
fair bit already. It's vast. It's a vast set. It's a vast setting. What was some of the things that the story building team, the world building team did to nonetheless make this setting and set personal and make it accessible to us through characters?
See, I definitely feel like a set like this would have benefited
Yeah,
from the
I mean,
old 3 set block.
I think part of it is what I
If
was
you're doing a
talking about,
space
where
set
like the edge
this
itself
massive,
is a
right?
vast setting. It's a whole new, you know, like it's practically a sub world for Magic to tell stories in, a sub genre for us. But this set is pretty focused. It's in one
I hate
specific
that he has
star
like
system.
a massive cowlick.
And even
Just right
within
there.
that, you know, all sci-fi,
I do
no
too,
matter
sort of.
how high-minded
You
the
can't tell.
idea is,
Oh, yep.
is
Yep.
all
Yeah,
great
that's bothering
sci-fi
me
is
too.
really grounded in the characters that populate it.
Yeah.
And for
He's got an
this story,
alfalfa.
you're gonna meet some really fantastic new characters. I can't wait for people to see them, meet them, read about them, and you know, perhaps one more familiar face as well.
There is one familiar face that I know many people will be very, very excited to see, and we'll be meeting them a little bit later on. But
You're meeting them a little bit later on.
Let's begin to talk about the mechanics of this set, right? We'll move away from the
Yay,
creative side for a
mechanics!
little bit here to talk
There will
about
be for this set
some
and
of the
only this
ways,
set, and
Mike,
then never
that,
seen again.
What we've talked about here were harnessed in
No,
order
dude, this can
to
be groundbreaking.
to get this set across from a mechanical standpoint. What were the ways in which these things that we've talked about, the vastness of space,
I've seen
setting,
one of
the,
them and people are already complaining
the,
about it.
the way that sci-fi stories are told,
Okay.
how is
Yeah.
that reflected in the way that the cards
But I
themselves
agree,
are
though,
actually
at the
made?
same point.
Yeah, so
You're like, yeah, it's stupid.
One thing.
Well, they basically
that's
took, like,
so
3 different
key to
mechanics
the
and put 'em
Edge of
into one.
Eternities is its connection
Yeah.
to land, right? So upcoming here, we're going to take a look at the basic lands in the set, right? Oh, yeah, right? Yeah,
Those are
aren't they?
cool.
Like-
It's all pretty. It's all
Right,
pretty.
like, I mean, look at those.
So here we have the borderless
Yeah, those are great.
celestial basic lands.
And those are basic-
And,
the celestials, never
Mike, lands are a really, really big part of this set.
Yeah. You know, in upcoming, we're going to take a look at ways that we made lands matter.
I hate blue,
and
but
of course,
that
right,
that
in
land
outer
makes me wanna
space.
play
Outer
blue.
space lends itself to planets, and you want this sense of discovery,
Exploration,
right? And exploration. And so lands in Magic really let us capture that, right? And you get beautiful landscapes like we're seeing right here.
Yeah, and we can talk more about these in detail with you, Sarah, here, because I want to know what it was like creating cards like these. We've seen full art basics. They've been a hallmark of Magic for quite a while. We've seen borderless cards as well. Borderless, full art basics. Again, this is attempting to capture that sense of scale.
Because I want to
Yeah,
get.
totally.
I'm
and,
like,
and also, you know,
they're really
we,
edging me with
like,
this edge,
literally thought
edge
about the cards
stuff.
the way they generally look, and how can we
That's
make
the whole
them
theme.
more expansive
Well, it's
than
not-
they
the
have
set's
in
actually never
previous
coming
sets.
out. They're just
And you
gonna
can
edge
see from
us
these
constantly.
Yeah.
celestial basic lands, that there's like nothing
I hate
around the edge of the card.
I hate the wording of it being like borderless celestial basic lands, because it's like there's nothing.
Because they're not basic lands.
No.
But they are basic lands, but they're not like.
They're not just like, oh, I can open a pack and get one of these.
Yeah, reflected again in that borderless.
Because I can almost imagine there's a borderless version,
vast, expansive,
and there's going to be another version,
treatment here
and then there's
going
to be basics.
Celestial basic
I do
lands.
like the planes a lot, though.
But
Plains
these aren't the
one is
only,
my
of course, these aren't the only special treatments.
I don't know if the Island of
we've
the Force is
got plenty
mine.
to show you here, and we're going to move on now, Mike,
Okay,
to
move
the
on.
Stellar Sites bonus
Oh,
sheet
Stellar.
here, and talk about one card in
The
particular.
what?
These are going to be cards that are available in play and collector boosters. And Mike, we have a
cool. So I might
pretty
get this.
powerful
'Cause I've already pre-ordered
land
one collector
coming
booster.
back here in
How
a
much is the
way
collector
that
right now?
people have
24.
never seen it before, my friends.
Yeah.
Feast your
I mean,
eyes
that-
upon the latest.
Better than the
iteration
70 that we just
of
did for
I know.
Final Fantasy.
Mutavault,
Did I get one? No.
I did.
which, Mike, you can tell us
Oh,
about.
I hate the
This is
font.
the borderless Stellar Sidecard. Tell
Oh,
us
the
about,
font on that
this
is
card and how it came together.
atrocious.
Yeah, so
How
so
did
excited
that
to
get put
bring
to?
Mutavault and all
I love
these
it.
Stellar Sites.
You like the
bonus
font
sheet
on that?
cards,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
big time.
Back
What?
again, say, hey, one of my
Oh,
favorite things is when
Mutavault.
we go and explore a new place, a
Mutavault.
new plane, tapping into the science fantasy feel.
It looks cool.
And you can really see that here.
Oh,
with
this is
Mutavault.
Stellar
And
Sites
as we-
cards.
As we reveal more.
Yes,
of
it's not the
bonus sheet
basic
cards,
ones.
They're just
So we have
so
basic- so we have
powerful. And of course,
Celestial
lands
basics,
just come out and they have
Stellar
their own
Sites.
style and
Yep.
are incredibly beautiful. And to me personally, I was the game design lead.
I will
when
say
we
this, I hate to
created
say it, though,
Mutavault.
I am buying
And
a
so
Final Fancy card.
This card has a
I didn't pull
personal
it.
touch to me as well.
Yeah,
A single?
It's
Yeah.
personally
How much is
resonant
it?
for you as well.
Like,
and coming
I
back
think
in
last I
this,
looked at it,
in
it was,
this
I
all new
think,
way.
7.
Sarah,
Between
tell us
7 and
about
20.
This borderless Stellar Sites card.
Where is it?
The way
It's a
that
card for green.
This card has been
the
represented.
Earth
It's been
crystal.
shown off
I'll
in a
look
way
it
that
up
we
real
don't.
quick.
Like we've got the name of the card towards the bottom of the text box. Towards the bottom of the card in the text
Earth
box rather than the
crystal.
top. Again, expansive, vast. Talk to us about this card.
Yeah, we just wanted to take everything off the top of the card and like shift it down. And of course, the lands make it a little easier because we didn't need to put the mana symbols on the top.
Yeah, so it's
But,
green. So it
the
costs 2
frame
colorless, 2
is,
green.
on
Green
the
spells
side is
cost
kind
1
of
less to
like
cast.
cards
If one or more
to
1/1 counters, we put on a
or
creature.
map that someone
Put
would
twice
use.
twice
It's
that
really
many
interesting 'cause,
instead,
like, that
and
kind
then
of, like,
tap 4
transparent
colorless. Yeah,
map is
that
actually
one.
Not what
Yeah.
we're used to it now. Moving
Card's
into
fine. This
these
card's
shows. That's been
sick,
kind
dude.
of
I want him
in
as- I want him as score deck.
consciousness since like the 40s.
I want him as score deck. That's
So
it.
again, retro.
That
future,
exact
retro,
borderless
future.
one?
Yes, that exact one.
But each of these cards also we
I
have
mean,
that,
if-
like,
if I-
cool
if I
special
can't,
font
then
that's in
whatever,
the
but,
title
like-
of the card, which like hopefully like gives a little like lots of extra flavor, and then each card has a little spaceship that breaks the frame. So
The
that
scale
you're-
spaceship.
Yeah, scale
Scale.
spaceships. Yeah.
Well, we've
They
got
have a
couple
little
of other
spaceship
versions
that
of this
breaks the
Mutavault
scale.
To show you here. I'm
Oh,
very,
man,
very
I'm gonna be
excited to be
so
unveiling
awful
to
when I
you. We talked about that
Like-
retro-futuristic look that some of these
You're gonna
cards
go
are
from
going
having
to
like a
have.
fake Aussie
I
accent
believe
and
this
trying
one
to throw
here
it
is
on,
taken
to
from
then
the
having just like a
bonus
normal
sheet.
Aussie accent
Is
with
that
then
right?
like
Yeah. So the
So
one
the one that we're about to show here.
well,
gonna
the one
rip
we're looking at right
darts
now.
and wear
now
short
it's
shorts.
advanced.
Oh,
This one that we're looking at right now, you'll find it's a collector booster exclusive. So it's a second version
See,
of,
I don't like that
of
one. I
Mutavault,
don't like the-
and
I like that
you
one.
can find it in the collector
yeah.
boosters.
See,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
I-
the
So
art.
this Galaxy
I like the
Foil
art.
Stellar
I
Yes.
don't
Sites
like
card, this
the.
has that sort of
font.
retro-futuristic travel.
I just don't
poster
like the
kind of,
box. The
style
box
to it.
kind of takes me out of
So
it.
this
Yeah,
has taken
it's
the
weird.
inspiration from a style of advertising that came about when mass tourism started to become a thing, and it was commissioned.
Mass
there were
tourism?
ads commissioned by like railway companies or airline companies
That
a
is
little bit
like that.
later,
It's that-
and they
it's
were
the
meant to
absolute that is- that's
be
great.
really.
It looks-
kind of
it looks
glamorous,
fantastic,
aspirational,
but-
Disney has
and to
really,
like, give people the
pioneered
sense
that
of
art
this
style,
trip
and
that
they
could
still
take
do it.
that would be full of wonder
Like Ray
and full
Tan
of
is a really
excitement
big
and
artist
something
for
different and
Disney
new,
that
and it was
is
really
continuing that
fun
art style.
to make
Shout
a
out.
whole set of cards
Eric
that look
Tan,
like
Eric
this
Tan.
as well. So then we have like the cinematic,
Yeah,
like
make sure I
beautifully
got that
painted
name
pieces,
right.
and then we have this really interesting graphic, like kind
Don't
of
give you guys
airbrushy,
false
like,
information.
soft color, aspirational pieces as well.
I'm
Yeah,
really
it's Eric
looking forward
Tan.
to seeing
I
how
was
some of
right.
the
He was
other
right.
lands or other cards that are on this set turn out,
I
especially
like-
with
So
styles
here's-
like these. But
Look at that. Like
my
Eric
friends,
Oh, yeah.
as we
Tan,
move
Disney.
on to
Yeah,
our next
that's-
set
yeah.
of preview cards,
He does a lot of like
all
official
the
Disney art.
spikes in the room are going to be very, very excited as a certain type of land.
I
comes back
I almost
into
bought
standard.
a set of $500
Many of you
posters
will
of
have
his
played with and
of
against
Tron.
these lands for
It's-
years
yeah.
and years and years. They're quite old.
Yeah, these
They're
lands
quite
are coming
powerful,
back.
and they are coming back, or 5
You ready
at
for
least
this,
are
DeNutte?
coming back in Edge of Eternity's
Ready?
Mike. We are bringing back the Shocklands.
Shocklands are back, baby.
Y'all love taking 2 damage, huh?
Yes, five of the Shocklands are going to be found in Edge of
Basically,
Eternities.
you play it, you pay
we're
2,
looking
it's
at
untapped.
Reading Pool.
Otherwise, it's tapped.
And once again,
but it's a
going
forest
to outer
and an
space,
island.
You know, we knew the time was
It's
right
both.
to bring these back.
Yeah.
And one of the great
And
things
this is
is
sick. I
we've
mean,
made
look at the artwork on
standard
that.
a 3-year format. And so really,
I was like, I don't know. Let's see what Shocklands are.
incredibly powerful.
Yeah, that's the
and
whole thing with
really,
Shocklands
in
is
so
that you
many
pay
ways,
2 for
you know,
having them be
change and
untapped.
influence the environment.
Godless Shrine is
And
the
so
sick one.
We were really excited to bring Shocklands
Just
back
because
to
I've
standard
seen
again
Godless
as well.
Shrines so
Well,
many
look, I'm
different
so
times
excited
now,
to see
like
them. These are
variations
cards
of it.
that I know
But, like,
near and dear to many, many
the art's all
people's
very
hearts,
cool.
and they're cards that
It is
take
very
you to a
Infinity
form
at
that you've-
times.
A form that you've
Yes.
never ever seen before. Obviously, over the years, we've seen Shocklands represented in all sorts of different ways,
Shocklands.
in all
Oh,
sorts, through all
Shocklands.
sorts of different lenses, with different frames,
Sacred
with different
Fountain.
arts.
Oh, that.
But Sarah, to talk
That's
about
straight up just Star Wars.
the Shocklands being brought into
That's
the setting,
Tatooine.
I want to talk to you about some
That's
of the
all I'm
challenges that
seeing
would have been
there.
involved. These are cards that are so
I like the
close and
almost
so
like the
iconically
logs, but they're
associated
almost
with
like
Ravnica, right?
religious.
With a specific
Yes.
set, with a specific magic setting. What was it
Kid
like
known for his
taking
blazing
these cards
forges and
so
ancient
closely
lava
associated with
seeps?
Ravnica and bringing them to outer space?
I mean, it's the best kind of challenge.
Also, I
really.
like.
You
I
know,
will say this. Now that we're seeing of cards,
we're all
I
such
like the
fans of
symbol.
The game and the game's history.
Oh,
and-
that's kind of
and-
crazy
and the
looking.
chance
That one
to
is.
take something and kind of spin it into a new way.
But I like
but,
the symbol,
maintain
the
aspects
galaxy
of
with the black,
original
with
version.
the dark
It's
hole.
just-
Yeah,
It's the best
dark hole,
kind
black
of
hole.
difficult thing to tackle.
Yeah, and these cards obviously are bound to see a huge amount of play in standard, in older formats.
Oh,
as
Watery
well.
Grave looks
It's
fucking
terrific
unreal.
to see them back again.
That's the first
and,
step
I'm very, very
of the
excited for
of the
people to get
episode.
their hands on them. But
Hey,
we talked about the fact that
naughty,
this is a set where
naughty
lands will matter. Jake, and I want
Naughty
to bring you in.
boy.
You've been very quiet.
It's been
so far.
20
Sorry
minutes.
about
Like,
that, mate.
you gotta give me that.
yeah. Hey, I didn't
some
say
of the
anything.
mechanical themes of the set.
Yeah, we've been
Can you
very
tell us
good
a little
so
bit
far.
more about this lands matter theme that's going to run through Edge of Eternities?
Yeah, absolutely. So my colleagues here
Which is
have
funny
been
because like they're
walking
doing
us through, and we
space,
can
which
go
you
ahead
think
and
means
look
that
at
lands
the next
don't
card
matter,
here.
and instead they're doing the
my
opposite.
colleagues have been walking us
They're like,
through
no.
this
Like,
whole,
look at this
all
thing.
the
Oh,
big
it's
picture
dinosaur.
themes of the set. Lands
That's a
matter,
beast.
sense of scale. And now we're going to get a look at what that means mechanically for the set. So here on Harmonious Grove Strider, we kind of see a little of both. As you're collecting those cards and playing the Stellar Sight bonus sheet cards and getting them onto the battlefield, this guy's going to
Power
get
and toughness
powered
are
up
equal
and
to
get
the number of
really
lands you
large
control,
power and toughness.
3 colorless,
Large
two
numbers on the
green
cards
as
was
Ward
something
2.
we looked to represent that sense
Beyond
of
the
scale.
borders of
You're gonna
pinnacle
be playing
space,
with
alien
bigger
worlds of
creatures than
untold
ever in
wonder
Edge of
await.
Eternities, and it's really cool.
I can imagine we're going to see, yes, again, that scale represented in cards through big numbers, lands matter, another theme that's going to be important.
Oh,
which
big
we'll
numbers.
come back to some of these themes as well.
Big numbers.
But as we begin to explore some of the characters in this set, Roy, we're going to introduce ourselves to some of the new characters that will be appearing in Edge of Eternities before very much longer. But tell us a little bit about these characters and the story setting that they're going to be in.
Sure, yeah, I'm happy to. So the story for Edge of Eternities, you guys all know Magic has a story, right? So Magic's had like a continuous long-running story for a long time. The Edge of Eternities story is like probably the most standalone story I've worked on in my time at Magic. We really wanted to let this setting stand on its own world building.
I was going to say, like, it's kind of be
characters
tough
and,
to have this
potential.
connect really.
And it was also important
Right.
for us that, like, if
To
maybe
the main
you don't know what's
storyline.
going
How
on,
does it connect?
Yeah.
How is it
in
this
the
like,
story at large with Jason,
how is,
Lud,
like,
and whoever,
technology
you can still come
never
into this
breached
story and really enjoy it
a
and not, like,
non-fantasy,
need to know anything. going in,
non-extended
especially, like, maybe you're a sci-fi
extended
fan
universe
first and foremost, and
storyline.
You've just been waiting for us to do a story like this. Now's the time. This is one of the best times to get involved in Magic story that I've seen. I'm also
I don't think it is.
really excited
Yes,
to announce.
I actually saw
the author
a
for this
empty
story,
Foundations
is
box
none
today
other than,
at work.
Seth Dickinson, who I know from the
I
fantastic
thought I was like, I'll take a
Trader
picture, but I was
Cormoran
gonna rush.
novels, but has also done a lot of writing in an IP that maybe has some relevance to what we're talking about today and where we're going with the Edge of Eternity set. It is, we've been talking about scale the whole time. It's certainly the biggest story I've worked on at Magic. It has 11 main episodes, which I guarantee if you read one, you're going to want to read all of them. It has 5 side stories. It, of course, is going to have the Planeswalker's Guide.
YouTube.
And we're also
is there
taking
audiobooks?
the story a little farther.
They just have
than
people
we
reading
in
it
the
to you
past.
instead.
This is the first time that we will be
Instead,
getting
well, I have a couple different guys, like,
voice
there's
recorded by a
one-
voice actor. Yeah, it's
I forgot what his
cool.
name is. There's like 2 different guys that I used to listen to when I was at work.
Good, I was going to say,
That,
Roy, who is
they
it?
literally
Because
just-
you've got to record the
They read
the
this-
story.
they, like,
another
compact
exciting
is like
thing.
10 minutes.
Yes, professional
10,
voice
15,
actor
20
Jesse
minutes.
Inokalia recorded all 11 main episodes, all 5 side stories. I'm sure his voice was tired by the other end of that. But yeah, it's just so exciting. Of course, obviously, the Magic Story podcast will be covering it as well with your hosts,
the Magic Story podcast.
Harless Snyder, Natalie Crater, and then I think they might have some guest on here and there to blab.
Blow-ins, whoever they can find.
Just
Are you
some
doing
Magic Story
Yeah.
Oh, you're
podcast.
okay. Okay.
And if you're more interested in hearing stories about the design of the set itself, how the cards got made, make sure to tune in to Daily MTG because they're going to have some really cool programming about that. And one more thing before I know we got to move on, but as of the end of this panel, the first episode of the Edge of Eternity story will be live. So go listen to the dulcet tones of Jesse Inokalia. Make sure you start listening to that first episode while you're in line at Art of Magic to get your card signed, all that.
Perfect.
He's such a
There you
charming
go.
smile.
Fantastic.
Like,
Well,
yes.
there's an insight into the,
This is
the
genuine.
story, again, from a creative
Yeah, it's like-
standpoint. Let's now get into talking about the story and the way that it's represented on actual Magic cards. Again, I know people out there are going to want to get their eyes on some of these cards here. Tell us about some of the new faces, some of the new people we're going to meet in Edge of Eternity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about all these like big powers that have come to Sothera in the sort of strange
I can't say even
time in
Sothera?
this sector's history.
Sothera?
The great
See, I-
fates
is
that are
it-
at
is it
war
Thera?
over the future of the
Sephira?
super void at its center. The people
Sorry,
we
wrong side.
start with in the
Zarya?
story are not actually
Sorry,
involved in all
wrong
that. We focus at the beginning of the story on 2 scoundrels who have had a run of pretty bad luck looking for their
scoundrels.
cat.
Scoundrel.
And a busted up ship in dire need of new parts.
A classic.
Oh,
Meet our
2
first
scoundrels
main
and a
character for the
busted up
story
ship.
and
Weird.
One of our
Huh.
next preview cards.
Yep, we can bring up here Sammy, Ship's Engineer. This is one of our one of the main characters who's going to be appearing in this Edge of Eternity
All right.
story
Is the cat
here.
this scoundrel?
Jadine, tell us about this card,
maybe.
what it's about, what it's representing.
2
and what it does.
colorless,
Yeah, Sammy
Boros,
here is
so
pulling
red and
double
white.
duty for us. They're
At the
both
beginning of
one
your
our
end
key
step, if you
story
control 2 or more
protagonists and
tapped
also our
creatures, create a
red-white
tapped
signpost
2/2
for
colorless
limited.
robot
So
artifact
the
creature
red-white theme
token.
in the set is going to be caring about
Okay.
controlling tapped creatures. You'll have to hold on to that for just a little bit longer. We'll get there. But you're going to want to do that, and Sammy will pay you off with some robots.
Sammy pulling double duty from a mechanical standpoint as well.
Yeah,
Not
and
only
also narratively pulling double duty, interestingly, because Sammy is on the Sarima, their ship. Sammy is the captain and also the engineer and also the chief con artist for
triple
the
duty.
crew.
They've got a lot going on. All right. Well,
You
we'll
could
see more
easily
of
make
these
that a
things
commander
emerge as
deck
well.
around
Again,
that.
the red-white
Yeah.
signpost
Easily.
uncommon there, as you say, creating tokens, tapping stuff. So
It's
that's
just
what Sammy's all about here.
a
We've got
new-
another new face for us to meet,
Goblin.
also associated with
Godwalker.
Sammy, one of our characters in the
Or
story.
from
It's
Dragon.
Tannic, Memorial Ensign. And,
Oh, it's a
Jadine, I
Kavu!
understand this is another uncommon
1
signpost
colorless,
uncommon.
Yeah,
red,
Panic here
green
is our
for 2/4.
red-green signpost.
Whenever a land you
Landfall
control
is here.
enters,
Landfall appears a few
deal
times
1 damage
in
to
the
each
set.
opponent. If this is the second time this
Hear
ability is
about
resolved
lands,
this turn,
kind
draw a
of the
card.
red-green theme is
Sick.
all about setting up your mana, picking
So
up
ping
lands,
everyone
doing
for
some
the
damage
first
to your
one.
opponents. Pretty
Draw a
classic
card for the
red-green
second one.
stuff.
Yep, and
It is too hot to be
those,
cuddling that puppy.
Those 3 beautiful words that
He's a
everyone
good
loves to hear.
boy.
Draw a card. Oh,
He is a good boy, but it's too hot to be cuddling the puppy.
Right?
well, tell us. I was going to ask. Tell us about this.
He's like, awesome, that
story,
bear.
this card from a story standpoint.
Well, so the thing I really want to call out here, so first of all,
Kavu.
Tannic is a Kav. The
pause
type
it?
line, of course, says Kavu. That is the magic term. But out in the edge, they're called Kav.
Husky.
So
you
the
pause it?
exciting thing to me about this card is
Are they talking?
Yes.
Oh, I don't hear anything.
Have you not heard anything this entire time or just now?
No, for like since I picked up the dog.
Oh.
I can hear you though, so my headset's on.
How about now?
When we meet Tonic, he is
Maybe.
Did it somehow get muted in Discord?
Shit. Nope. Close it. Oh, reopen it because it's.
There we go.
That's it?
the pilot of
Boom.
the Surima,
We're leaving
Sammy's
it in.
first mate, and also like best friend.
Husky?
But
Yes?
you know, this is a character with a whole history and a past in this setting before we ever meet him, and this is actually a part of his life from before the story even starts. In the past, when he was a member of the Kav Memorial Navy, scouting
The
out
Kav Memorial
the
Navy.
floating vaults of his people, where they hid their artifacts before the planet of Kavaron started to crumble.
The what?
And we're doing this with a couple other legends in the set, a couple other of the story main characters, just depicting them on multiple cards to show them at sort of different moments on their journey, maybe different moments of
That's the
color
annoying thing
alignment
to
or
me.
mechanical space.
You
that
could have
they're
had
occupying.
multiple sets
I want to come back to
of
something you
this
said there,
thing
because you mentioned that
doing
that
that,
Sammy and Tanic
fully fleshing
are,
everything out more, and instead
zipping around the edge of eternities on the
Yeah, but that
Surima.
takes
The
away from
Surima.
them having
Can you tell us
universes
anything more
beyond.
about that?
Come on.
Maybe we want to get a look at the
I know.
Surima here, a brand
Yeah, so this is the card that
new
people are pissed about.
type of card which is debuting in Edge of Eternities. JD,
It's a
tell
spacecraft.
us about spacecraft.
Yeah, a lot to take in here
So it's
on
the
the
station
Surima.
aspect
I'm going
that
to
people are
start
pissed
with
about,
the
you know.
station mechanic. We knew from kind of the beginning of working on Edge of Eternities that we were going,
a lot going on
need
there.
to represent
Yeah.
spaceships. We were going to need to represent a way to
So
travel
station
in
says
space.
Also,
There wouldn't be
it
much of a
costs
space
nothing.
set.
Yeah, it costs
So,
nothing to play this.
pretty
But that's
quickly,
because
we
Station
realized we
says
wanted
tap another
spacecraft
creature you
to
control,
be
put
something
charge
new,
counters equal to its
and
power
not just use
on
the
this
vehicle
spacecraft.
mechanic that we see
Station
kind of pretty
only has a
often in Magic
sorcery.
sets.
It's
We
artifact.
wanted
It's an
something
artifact.
new
It's
that could
7
represent
plus.
these vehicles and spacecraft
So it's basically
with
just an
more
artifact.
power that could
You have
get
to
you
tap
from
stuff to put it
planet to
onto it,
planet.
and then
So
it becomes a
you can think of
and then it
this
becomes
as a bit of
an actual like
evolution on the vehicle mechanic.
creature
It works-
after
Yeah,
that.
but you also
Station works
get
pretty similarly to Crew.
to
They
pick
both
a
look at
legendary
the power of
card
your creatures
and put it in your
using
hand.
them to
Yeah.
turn
not a
on
lot.
the vehicle
Oh, yeah.
or the spacecraft.
This card's
the
busted.
difference here is that
Yeah.
spacecraft is a permanent upgrade. You have
I'm
a
dumb,
quest,
and
you're
I'm
gonna
like,
pay
sometimes
your
I don't
creature's
see
power to turn it
the
online.
immediate, like,
The Surima
broken-
has a
brokenness.
threshold of
That card's
7
broken.
to
Well, then
become a
look at the very
creature.
bottom line.
If you have a 4-power and a 3-power creature, you can tap them both
Yeah.
right now. You can tap one this turn and one next turn. Either way, you'll get to 7.
It's like-
and the Surima will
like
be
I said-
online
Pause
for
for
the
a
rest
minute?
of the game. Turn, either way, you'll get to 7, and the Surima will be online for
yeah.
the
So
rest
people are
of the
mad
game.
about the station mechanic
The Surima itself
Well, it's
is
like-
a perfect shift
because it's
for
like
the
crewing
protagonist.
or
It's
mounting.
three
To the
it's
battlefield,
three
search
mechanics.
out
Yeah.
Sammy, search out DeNutte, or maybe your favorite legend that you want to have pilot the Surima for this game. You're going to use that creature
it's
to
literally
power
like,
this up. And
oh,
then
I
once
want to
you're
crew.
there,
I want to crew
your
something,
cast
so I have to
character
tap
is
it
gonna
to
enjoy
crew
some
this
thought
thing
armor.
for that turn.
So
It's
I
the
wanna,
exact same
I
thing. It's
wanna
just
ask
instead
a
now
couple
this,
of mechanical
it's
questions
a
about
charge
this.
counter.
So there are
You
some
get it out for
similarities to
3
vehicles
mana.
in the sense that
Yeah.
you're tapping creatures to power
Tap.
up this card, but
Realistically, you
once
could
you've
tap
stationed
one- if you have
this
one strong
card
creature, you
to-
could tap
this
2
one's specifically
creatures.
to 7,
Yep.
whatever that number is,
And
it
bang.
remains active in that way.
And then now
Unless
you're
it somehow loses a counter, which is very rare,
commanders
this is a
indestructible.
creature until your opponent
a lot
destroys
of things are
it.
Well, this is
indestructible.
my next question. It says that you put charge counters on this. What if you've got another way to put charge counters? Does it have to be through tapping these creatures?
Oh no, if you find more ways to put charge counters on,
And
it
this
just
is
looks for
why
having
a
7
card
charge counters.
So
from
maybe we'll find some other ways to be putting counters
God,
on
what
these,
set is that
these
from?
spacecraft. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
There's
but
a card from one of the old
Mike,
sets when I was playing in high
something very
school.
big, something very
Its
important
price is suddenly
to talk
like
about
rocketed
here.
up to like 14,
This
15
is
bucks.
this is a pretty big announcement actually
those
here.
charge
So buckle
Because
up
it has
on this
charge
one,
counters,
because Mike
like I
is
said.
about to share a rules update
Oh.
that is coming along with
A
the debut
rules
cards
update.
like the Surima, a legendary artifact here, this spacecraft. Mike, what can you tell us about this rules update that is coming, that will be affecting legendary spacecraft, legendary vehicles?
Yeah, so for Commander players, I'm sure, are there a few Commander players out in the audience? Yeah.
Just a few?
All
right.
Just a couple.
Well, they'll be very interested to learn about what you're about
Let me
to
guess,
tell
you
them.
can have
Right.
multiple as long as they're not the
So
same thing.
Both with legendary spacecraft that we're introducing here with Edge of Eternities, and for legendary vehicles, they are now eligible to be your commander when you're playing commander. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
With the debut of these cards in Edge of Eternities, you will be able to play.
Pause real quick, just because.
You can make your legendary artifact your commander.
So that can be your commander. So on turn 3, you drop that on the field.
Good.
And then you find a legendary creature.
Huh? Because it's not going to take any damage until you
turn it into a artifact creature at 7+.
Whatever. And it's got
Tools
flying.
update that is coming.
Legendary
Vehicles.
vehicles.
Does that becomes
Yeah.
indestructible because the artifact?
With the debut of these cards in Edge of
Right?
Eternities, you will be
As
able
long as
to
it's tapped.
play
It
at
says
long last
it taps creatures.
the Seeker's
Oh,
Chariot
yeah.
as your commander. We've waited so long.
Yes.
Like, can you finally let us do it?
Right? Yeah. Your cat tokens will be unleashed. Yeah, and we worked with the commander rules committees here, and there was just something that the group really liked about. Hey, these legendary, now creatures, vehicles, spacecraft. Hey, they all have power toughness boxes, right? And so to unify it, your magic card with that power toughness box. Let's let you. Build
I can't wait to
commander
see
decks.
what sort
I
of
think people will
broken
stop
shit people
listening
are
'cause
already
it'll
starting to come
go
up with.
Legendary vehicle. Oh, the jackdaw. Excellent. Fantastic. I can't wait. Well, speaking of legends, that's very exciting news. I know there'll be people out there who will immediately be brewing up new commander decks as a result of this update. But
Yeah.
another very exciting piece of news when it comes to one particular legend here.
Yep, this is the
We've
big
talked
one.
about, we've teased the fact that there is a certain familiar face
Certain
coming
familiar
back
face
in
to it.
Edge of Eternities.
Familiar
Haven't heard from him
face.
for a while, and maybe this is why he's been out in the far reaches of the multiverse here, because coming back in Edge of Eternities in a way, in a fashion, Roy, that we have never seen this fella before. Please welcome to this preview panel, Tezzeret, Cruel Captain.
Tez is back. He's
Right.
only 3/2.
Without giving too much away when it comes to the
Whenever
story,
an
what can you tell
artifact you
us about
control enters,
Tezzeret
put a
appearing in
log
Edge
to
of
counter
Eternities?
on him.
Well, our friends Sammy
Wow.
and Alex start the story on their way to retrieve a mysterious artifact from a remote colony in the Cythera system. And they're not really the type that are ambitious enough on their own to go after something like that. So it may or may not be working for somebody. You know what
All
I mean?
right. Well, we'll see. We know Tezzeret's got a lot of irons and a lot of different fires. We
There's
know
a
he's
lot
crafty
going
fella,
on
but,
here.
This is Tezzeret, Jadine, like we've never seen him before.
Absolutely. Tezzeret is here as a colorless
Well,
planeswalker
because they're
card, a
doing
brand
something
new color
different, I guess.
identity
I
for
don't know.
Tezzeret. And his card is all about artifacts. Artifact Matters is another one of the big themes of Edge of Eternities that we haven't
Two
touched
big
on
themes.
very much yet, but it's kind of the science half of science fantasy is really represented by artifacts, and Tezzeret is
That would be
all
really
about
juicy
the
with
artifact
that,
you play will give him more
that space
loyalty,
station.
and then he's going to
Well, yes, I mean, think about that. You play the space station, then you go get Tez.
Find new ones.
And
Yeah.
again, appearing in a mechanically speaking,
They're like,
appearing
it's
in a
not
way
a
that's intended for
companion
as a colourless
card.
planeswalker,
Oh,
but
it is
Sarah
interesting, though, because it doesn't
also
have a
appearing,
positive.
If
you look, it's a 0, -3, -7. So you have to play artifacts in order to load him up.
To show
Yeah.
off here of what Tezzeret looks
So I was
like.
thinking the
This is
same thing.
and
Like, how do you get to that 7? But it's that. Okay, that's
Sarah,
cool.
talk to us about this treatment, how it came together.
Yeah, this is a really fun series of cards.
Oh,
Here's
borderless,
Tezzeret,
triumphant.
by, Magali
Well,
Villeneuve,
this is
who
the
is her first time painting
novel
Tezzeret.
I'm
She's
reading
really
right now.
excited to
It
depict this character.
really.
She's such an incrable artist that graces
Look at
Magic cards
that
with her
cover.
work. And this
Oh,
whole
yeah.
series, we use
It's
what I'm reading right now.
round graphic flat shapes in the background, which is really fun
Sci-fi.
for the set because it could be a planet
Sci-fi.
or it could
Yeah,
be a
full
star,
sci-fi.
It could be some kind of star. And
Yes,
it's
now we have
going in a little
triumphant
scale spaceship, but
cards.
The whole series are these
Okay.
moments of like
So that's
kind of
3.
pause and triumph when someone's exploring a new place. A lot of them are like explorers standing on a mountaintop.
Don't get us
It's
wrong.
really,
We think these cards look
compared to
cool
the
and everything. It's
scale of
just
all the
that
spaceships flying around and fighting in
Jesus,
space.
the amount of
these,
new
focus
things they
on
just keep
characters
adding.
and focus on like,
Yeah.
putting yourself in this
For
story
really
and
no
in this
reason
game and feeling like
as
you're
well.
the one looking out over this expanse and about to discover something exciting.
Well, keep an eye out for these borderless triumphant cards because there'll be more of them in the set. It's not just Tezzeret, obviously, so that's something to keep your eye on here. But right now, I want to move on to our next card here. Each set does have a headliner card, and we're going to show you now the one from Edge of Eternities. It's a huge card in every aspect of the word here. Roy, tell us about this card as we meet for the first time. Sothera, the Super Void.
Oh, yeah.
Sothera, the
Yeah,
Super Void.
So I was talking about this a little bit
2 colors, 2
earlier
black.
on in the
Whenever
panel.
a creature you control dies, each opponent chooses a creature
set,
they control
the
and exiles
planets,
it. At the
the
beginning of your end
characters,
step, if
the
a player...
conflict,
Stop talking. At the beginning of your end step, if a player controls no creatures, sacrifice Sothera, then put a creature card exiled with it onto the battlefield under your control with 2 additional 1/1 counters on it. Oh, okay. So it's just a slow board wipe. Got it.
of Edge of Eternities, all
Really is.
either figuratively or
This
in
is
some
the card that has
cases,
the
orbits
really fancy
Sothera.
version
Sothera
that
is
looks like it's
the
something that
super
someone
void
made in
at
their
the
like
center of
garage.
the star system. It
That's
has
like
been,
selling on Temu.
collapsed into this
I hate
sort
to
of
say it like
half-
that, but that's
half
your
dead,
see.
almost undead state.
Okay, yeah, they show it, yeah.
By the dark sciences
Yeah, they're
of the
gonna show it.
monoists.
Because they think
You
it's
can-
so cool looking,
man, the art
and then
is
it's
so
like when
cool
you
here,
see it,
too.
you're like,
you can see that like sort of eerie
I'll be
halo
the
it's
judge.
giving off that you can
That's
see
sort of like
in a
a
lot
dude.
of,
You know
art
the
from
the
set,
old
too,
thing of
in
like reading the
background, or,
card
like, in
tells you what the
sky
card
or,
does.
Yeah, that's what it
behind,
does.
Yeah.
you know, various
The
escapades
version
and
that
heroes and
you're gonna
villains.
see
It's just
doesn't
so
do
cool.
that.
Oh, okay.
So let's talk about JD this card from a mechanical standpoint as well.
Yeah, it's a slow
Here
board
we can
wipe.
see it's a card that rewards you for your creatures dying, but then also will ultimately bring one back bigger, better, stronger than ever before.
Oh, because
What were some of the things that went into
if a
designing
player
this card,
controls no
marrying
creatures.
that gameplay flavor with actual mechanical, the way that it was expressed mechanically?
Yeah, so Thera was probably my favorite card to work on in the entire set because it is top-down black hole.
People are-
and
people
a
are
black
yakking in
hole
the
is just one
background.
of those things that everybody learns about in elementary school.
You hear
It's
'em.
just
They're
kind of
yakking.
in the
Yep.
back of our heads as something
lot of
really scary
chatter.
and capturing our imagination, or at least mine, for a very long time. So getting the opportunity to represent that in a Magic card was really fun. We settled as the most important element to be captured that you get sucked into a black hole, that it destroys, and that there's this kind of fascinating question
It
at
gives
the center
life
of it.
and it takes
what
life.
happens once everything is sucked into the black hole and there's nothing else left? And for us, our answer was something comes back out.
Is this something that's reflected in the setting of the?
Well, that's actually, I did want to mention that I've talked a lot about them, the monoists, gravity manipulators, black hole worshippers. They actually believe that at the center of every black hole dwells their messianic figure, who they call the immortal faller. And if you have the correct instruments, you can actually observe him gradually making his way towards the center of the black hole. What happens when he arrives at the center is a closely guarded secret in the
not
monastic
anymore.
orders. But
He gets +2. He gets 2 +2.
yeah, right. He gets plus 2.
Yeah,
That's probably it.
we've solved that. Yeah, it's fantastic. We've got other aspects, other versions.
Yeah, it's such a
other
genuine
treatments
smile. You're so
of,
right about
this
that.
card
It's a
to,
big, genuine
to
smile.
show up here. Sarah, walk us through some of the different treatments that this headline.
Here we go.
act,
Here's the
this
different
main
treatments.
marquee card from the set received.
Yeah, another one of the treatments that we did for it is a Japan showcase. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's so fun.
That says what it is,
you know,
yeah.
the way the
That
text
one's
is treated
cool.
on this card, the way the
Yeah.
border's treated, the foil that it's printed on.
I like
is
the
all
white
really
border
exciting,
around
really
it, but then it's still being
kinetic, has kind
broken.
of like a different art style to it. You know, we love making these cards. They're really special moments in the set, and of course we had to do
That's
this
gonna
for
be worth a lot.
Sothera
Yeah,
as
yeah,
like,
it is.
you know,
Yeah.
the gravitational center of this whole story
Please,
and world. That
please let me
created.
pull it.
So this is the Japanese showcase card, but there's also the Singularity Foil Headliner card, which we can bring up now. But I will say
So DeNutte.
that this version, as spectacular as it is,
okay.
Sarah,
Yeah.
It doesn't come close.
No.
This static image on a screen,
When you read the
doesn't
card,
come close to representing what this card actually looks like, and in real life.
Yeah.
So we've got a great paint.
They're like,
here
what's that card do?
to represent to you, the faithful audience out there,
This
what
is the
actually
card that I
looks
said looks
when
like
you
a
get your hands
proxy.
on it, Sarah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we
someone
did
just-
so much
someone
testing
made.
to make this
And then
card.
wait,
Well,
you-
so
Used a
they
new,
were doing a lot of.
substrate
I mean,
called
that
the
looks cool,
fractal
I guess.
lens, which has this like incredible amount of dimensionality in it when the
So
light hits
it looks like
and also
a
we
secret
hit
layer
that black
card,
hole
but
in
the
the
secret
middle
layer
with
cards
extra
have
black ink, extra
what it
treatment,
does
extra
still.
coatings.
I think it might be
So
on the
that
back.
really, when
That's
you're
the only thing I
holding
can think
it
of.
feels like it's sucking the light out of the room.
But at the
and
same
into
time,
the
I don't know
center
because
of
they
the
don't show
card.
it.
And of
I don't
course,
think.
like we did this really cool special typography.
I'm
on
glad
the
they
card, so
they didn't fix the
when
foil
you hit
bending
this,
of
when
cards.
this comes out of your pack, you're gonna feel that moment. It's a big one.
Keep an eye out for this one. So once again, all three versions of Zathera the Super Void up on the
Yeah,
screen for you to have a look
I
at
want the
here.
middle one.
Again, the Singularity foil headliner card. The
I mean, it looks cool. Don't get it, like it. It does look cool. So the far right one, the Singularity.
From Edge of Eternity.
What?
Very, very excited to see how this one comes out of those boosties.
The Japanese showcase just looks
Speaking
super.
of boosties, Mike, I
Boosties.
want to bring you in here to talk about the product lineup for Edge of Eternities and how people will be able to get their hands on these cards.
All I have bought
Yeah,
is a
absolutely.
collector booster.
So
That's it.
upcoming
That's
here
all I
is
am
the
buying.
product lineup.
But there's the line.
Of course, we have play boosters and collector boosters, and then to experience the set for the first time, the pre-release and the bundle as
Two
well.
commanders.
And then we
commanders, yep.
have two commander decks.
3 colors
finally.
each.
Now we've been looking at a lot of these amazing treatments, and the Stellar Sights bonus sheet cards, you'll find those in 1 in 8 play boosters. They're only in rare and mythic.
1 in 8 play
We have
boosters.
the alternate version in the collector booster. Those Galaxy foils that we showed off, those will be in the collector booster, and then of course the
I'm gonna pull
super
nothing.
high-end Sothera treatments as well. So a lot of awesomeness that we're doing here with the Edge of Eternity's product lineup.
All right, excited to see these on shelves, but I want to zoom in particular on those commander decks you mentioned. Let's have a closer look at these commander decks, kicking things off here with our World Shaper deck. So this is the black, red, green, the Jund colors here. Mike,
Jund.
talk to us about
Sacrifice lands, grow back
this
stronger.
commander deck and what themes from the set that it encapsulates and harnesses.
I just read it.
Yeah,
Sacrifice
so
land.
this is the World Shaper deck. As you mentioned, black, red, green, and we're not going to see it today, but it is helmed by they're one of the 2 legendary cards you're going to get is a spacecraft, so that is going to play into it. And then as well,
I wonder
as
if they're
that,
gonna be
really
putting
taps into
spacecrafts
a lot of
like,
those Jund
in each
themes,
one of
right?
these.
Sacrificing lands, growing
have
in
to.
power as they come back.
Well, like legendary
so
ones to
it's a
make it
really
so,
fun
like,
deck for
Yeah.
anybody
You can already
who,
have, like, a legendary
is big
thing
into
like
those
that,
themes,
something
and of course,
You're gonna have to.
Playing
Like,
with an amazing space.
so imagine if it was just like a random pull to get one of those. Those are going to be so much money.
Jade, and I'll bring you in to talk to us about the way that Zarel Genesis
Pretty
Shepherd exemplifies what this deck is all about. Looks like an absolute classic Jund card here.
Jund and
Yeah,
2 colorless,
as a Jund
flying,
aficionado,
2/5.
I am
You
excited
may play
to
lands
play
from your
with this
graveyard
card.
whenever you sacrifice
So
another
the deck
non-token
is
permanent.
about sacrificing
Put a number of
lands.
1/1 counters
Zarel here
equal
is going to
to
let you
Zarel's
play those
power
lands again from your
onto one other
graveyard if you're a
target
little
creature.
nervous about
Wow.
sacrificing all your lands. You have an easy way to get them back into play, and it's going to pay you off for sacrificing anything, not just lands, with some +1/+1 counters for your creature.
I mean, he looks
Really
kind of cool.
Really
He's
fun
an
deck.
insect druid.
So keep an eye out for that. That's the World Shaper deck there in the Jund colors. But we've got the other one as well to show you briefly here. The Counter Intelligence deck. Now this is in the Jeskai colors. Blue, red, white.
Nope.
Mike, what are the themes that are being shown off as part of this?
I only like one
commander
of those
deck here?
colors.
We've got counters. We've got artifacts. What's going on?
Yeah, that's exactly
Boost
right, Riley.
artifacts, proliferate
counterintelligence
counters.
Really
Oh,
taps
good,
into,
proliferates in this.
one of the things.
Oh, look, the
that,
spaceship for this is in the background.
Discovery and you're in outer space. Of course, you're going to go to new worlds and find artifacts, and what magical and mystical powers do they have? So we really tap into that a lot here with the counterintelligence deck. That artifact matters theme.
And again, we can have a look at the secondary commander here. The primary commander is the primary commander is a spacecraft. We're not going to get to look at that one today,
that's what
but
they're doing.
The secondary
You hear that?
commander is Kilo Apogee Mind here. Now, this is a card that will reward you for playing
Okay.
with counters. Counter intelligence, after all, is the name of the deck.
That's
DD,
disgusting.
We talked about the fact that there are ways to get.
I mean,
charge
mind you,
counters
you
on
need
the
to have
spacecraft.
Jeskai, right? You
Kilo
need to have
is
each
gonna
one
help
of
us
each.
station our
But it has
spacecraft.
haste as a 3/3 and it has
Kilo is
proliferate.
one of those ways. You can imagine
What?
you'll tap this 2 spacecraft in the deck, get
Both
your proliferate
sculptor
trigger,
and
get your
sculpted.
counters for your spacecraft charged up, maybe charge something else up.
People
Lot
are
of options.
talking.
So,
If I were
these
to
are the
buy
command
one of these,
decks
I would
that
buy
you'll
this
be able
one.
to snag as
Yeah.
part of the Edge of Eternity's product lineup here. But there are a couple of other short announcements I want to share with you when it comes to the Edge of Eternity's release here. Because we've got some new great ways for you to play with
give me
this
stuff
set
for free?
and beyond. Starting with Edge of Eternities, we'll be launching more specialized Commander events at participating WPN game stores.
Okay.
These will be new ways to play, new ways to earn special promo cards as well.
Promo cards?
You may be familiar with events previously called Commander Party promos.
Nope.
Commander Party promo cards can be earned at eligible Commander play events, starting with Edge of Eternities.
There you go, DeNutte.
You can score your sweet promos regardless
Go
of
get
your
yourself some sweet
your preferred
promos.
way to play
Sweet
Commander.
promos.
So you'll be able to get your hands on these cards that way. But in addition to that, Commander Box League. I want to talk about this. Some may recognize the Commander Box League format from these events here, being at MagicCon, but these are being officially brought to in-store play.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Commander Box Leagues will run during pre-release weeks. Great way to get to know a set with playing with in a sort of limited-like setting. You build a 60-card Commander deck out of the contents of a play booster box, and then you play games with it throughout the week. That's coming to
okay.
in-store play with Edge of Eternities and beyond, so
kinda
very
cool.
exciting. But the other thing that I want to talk to you about is the two-headed giant Commander Night.
Oh,
This
wow.
is the
Okay.
perfect way to introduce someone to Magic. It's a perfect on-ramp for a friend or
I did
or
two-headed
enemy,
giant
or
once. It was
someone
fun.
about who
Yeah,
you feel
two-headed
largely
giant is fun.
ambivalent.
It's also a nice
You
way
wanna
to
get
just
into,
absolutely bully someone.
Magic.
Yeah.
Great way to introduce people to the game using the two-headed
We
giant
bullied
Commander
a
format.
father and
2v2.
his son.
Oh, really?
And these will be held as monthly casual Commander
that.
events.
Casual,
so
DeNutte,
multiplayer
casual.
So
No
more
bullying.
details available in an article at magic.gg for you to read about some of these new ways to play with Edge of Eternities and the other sets that are going to come after that as well. In store, very
It was a
excited
pre-release
to see these ones
two-headed
rolled out in
giant.
stores everywhere. Anyway, that wraps up our Edge of Eternities portion of the preview panel. We've got plenty more stuff to show you, however.
So
and I
that
know
was
many of you here
48
assembled
minutes of
are
the
going to
hour
be
8
very,
was
very
one- was
excited
one set.
for what comes next. Because some of you may remember at MagicCon Chicago, we teased an exciting close to 2025 when we talked about Magic the Gathering, The Last Airbender.
The Last Airbender.
If you are as excited for
Today
this
you're
set as
excited
we
about
are, and it
this?
sounds like there are some people who are very much looking
not excited
forward
about
to
the-
it.
how much it's
We've got
gonna
very
cost.
something very exciting to show you
Fair.
when it comes to Magic the Gathering, The Last Airbender. Turn your eyes to the screen and have a look at this video. Check it out.
This is sick. I will say this. Oh, I wonder who that could be.
It's Tara. So Avatar State flip.
So Avatar Aang is a 4-color, right? So of course, right? It is red, green, white, blue. Legendary creature, human avatar ally, has flying and firebending too, whatever the hell that's gonna mean. Whenever you waterbend, earthbend, firebend, or airbend, draw a card. Then if you've done all 4 this turn, transform Avatar Aang, who's a 4/4, and then he turns into Aang, Master of Elements, who is flying, spells you cast, cost everything. one of everything to cast, which is interesting because he doesn't have black in his original. So I'm wondering, because he has black in the backside, does that make him full 5 colored? Technically, because it is on the card. See what I'm saying? At the beginning of your upkeep, you may transform Aang, Master of Elements. If you do, you gain 4 life, draw 4 cards, put 4 1/1 counters on him, and he deals 4 damage to each opponent.
But you got to pull it off.
Yes, which is you got to do every bending in one turn. Which is like I said, it's interesting. I want to know what it means. Like, what does fire bending mean? What does earth bending mean?
I mean, that's a new play aspect to have, like the bending.
Yeah. Coming November 21st.
Well, have a look at that. There we go.
And pre-orders. Look at Jesus! Look at that.
Enforced, Jadine. What can you tell us about Avatar Aang and the iteration?
From what I know, pre-orders aren't available on Amazon.
Working on an Aang card for Magic is one of those things that if you told me I would have got to do that 10 years ago, I would have never believed you. Very cool.
I would never have believed you.
This is a particularly cryptic card for us to lead off on mechanically, so I hope you enjoy speculating until we're ready to hear more. But
I don't enjoy speculating.
Water bending, earth bending.
I want to know what earth bending is. It's just the only mechanic I care about.
Don't know what those mean yet. But if you do,
I don't even know Avatar. Never watched Avatar, but I would make a tough deck.
You've never watched Avatar?
Tell us a little bit more about this card from an artistic standpoint and how it came together.
Yeah, I mean,
live action or animated.
We had this incredible chance to collaborate with one of the original show creators, Brian Konietzko.
Oh, that's cool. One of the original show creators
did
this.
Get this work
did
in
the
the
artwork
set.
for this.
And you know, in a moment like this, we're not getting in his way. We just let him cook, and
I'm assuming that the bending has something to do with, like, gain 4
huge
life, draw
moment,
4 cards, put 1 counters on it, deal damage.
A little teaser, a little taste.
So, like, fire bending 2 is you deal 2 damage.
Avatar, the Last
if you do something.
Mark your calendars for the first look coming on August the 12th on Twitch and YouTube. If you're attending San Diego Comic-Con, you'll be able to get your hands on a special promo card as well. But make sure you are around for that official first look. August the 12th, coming up not too far away. Magic the Gathering.
And they're waiting that line to try to get in.
Airbender, we can't wait. The other thing we can't wait for some of the older school fans of Magic the Gathering, I'm very excited to tell you about what is coming up in 2026. Because
2026.
For the first set that will be released that year on the 23rd of January in 2026.
That I don't care about.
We are returning to an old and beloved plane, my friends. I know you'll be very, very
Everyone's
pleased to
excited
hear
about this.
that we are going back next year to Lorwyn.
I never played when Lorwyn was a thing, so it's
Lorwyn Eclipse, the first set for 2026. As I say, release date January.
I'm intrigued
23rd.
to see about what it's going to be about, but it's like I said,
we don't have any cards to show you from Lorwyn Eclipse just yet. We're not going to be looking at them today. But Mike, all the same, you can give us a brief, a high-level overview of what this set is going to be all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So with Lorwyn Eclipse, we are back to the land of day and night, right? And we're really tapping into that dual aspect part that we saw with Lorwyn and then Shadowmoor as well. And so, you know, we're really inspired here by the whimsical, there's the dark and the fantastical, and bringing that all together with Lorwyn Eclipse.
A lot of fairies and a lot of
revisiting those themes that made the set, you know, so fun to play with, and has left us with so many iconic cards. Is really exciting. And of course, as we're going to see, we are going to show off a piece of art. It's just so visually stunning. It really is just so exciting to be back.
It has a really iconic feel. The artistic legacy of Lorwyn is something that's lived a very, very long time. Never mind the powerful cards that has come from it as well, Mike. So, Sarah, as we throw up these 2 pieces of art that we can look at here, can you talk to us again from a higher level? What was Lorwyn Eclipse all about from an artistic side?
Yeah, so it's a beautiful painting by Evan Fong. Here's a classic Lorwyn elf,
it's
right?
Cool.
We have the antlers that we know, and
is it a boy or a girl?
They're living in this more
elf.
interesting kind of space in this set, or newer space for them. They're less judgmental, maybe a little less haughty.
Very pretty.
We're excited to show them in this new way.
And we've got another piece here to show you. This is by the inestimable Mark Poole.
Mark
Poole. Sarah, another stunning piece here showing off this beloved plane.
Yeah, this is showing you in this set how
Forest.
Morrowind and Shadowmoor are kind of present
Oh,
much more closely to each other.
black-green?
And what,
Maybe.
What is that going to mean? How is that going to wreak havoc? How is that going to create these like magical moments? You can see Shadowmoor
Magical
and Morrowind
moments.
kind of combining and creating this
Some might
like,
say
Twilight
in the
space
Gathering.
between. I didn't say Twilight Zone. Twilight space in between.
She said Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone.
Twilight. I was trying to
Crossover with
avoid it.
Twilight Zone confirmed.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of work by Mark Poole, and
Confirmed.
we can't wait to
Minute
show
mark
you the rest
55.
of the art that was created for the set. We had so much fun going back to Morrowind.
Yep, keep an eye out for that. That's coming up later
this
on,
is
of
cool,
course,
but I didn't
when we're
play
ready to
during the
show you,
original
some
Morrowind,
cards
so it's
from,
just-
Law and Eclipse. I'm sure you'll be very, very excited to see them. Got another set to
But
announce
this set,
here
though-
very briefly. We're going to have to start whizzing through stuff because we've still got a lot to cover here.
I
very
played,
quickly, you'll understand
came
why we're
back
not going
to.
to talk about this set too much more here. We've got the name to share with you and not much more because
That's it.
it's a secret. As we head into 2026, we will be going back to another plane that we've been to before. My friends, next year, we'll be heading back to Strixhaven for the secrets of Strixhaven. So,
Secrets.
again, just a little teaser. We don't have too
Harry
much more
Potter
to tell
set.
you about that just yet, but I know many
Yes,
people
my buddy
will be
was
very,
like,
very
I love-
happy to
I have-
see us
I have-
go back
I have
to
the Slytherin deck.
Strixhaven and discover some of its secrets. Okie dokes. Roy, I turn to you now.
He had never
to
heard
talk
of,
to us
Commander,
about
so I was
something
explaining
else,
Commander to
coming
him.
up. Very, very exciting.
Ah.
Looking forward to this a huge amount. What can you tell us about Magic the Gathering collaborating with Dark Horse Comics?
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about that. Yeah, so for those
So-
of you who haven't heard, Magic is partnering up with Dark Horse Comics of many comics.
If you
I
want,
love.
we can stop it here.
Really
A lot of
see which one.
Because now
Okay.
they're just talking about Dark Horse Comics. Which all it is that it's they're doing a comic series. I wonder if I can just get to the main.
Oh, they're doing a comic series with Dark Horse.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if
Yeah,
it was
see
going
right
to be one
there.
of their. Okay,
Yeah.
because what did Dark Horse make?
Dark Horse has done a bunch of different stuff. Dark Horse Comics. Comics. Nope, that doesn't tell me anything. Thank you. Let's see here. That's key people. Fictions are everything. Imprint. Distribution. Titles. Dark Horse Comics has acquired the rights to make comic book adaptations of many popular video games, films, and series. Some of these include Aliens, Army of Darkness, Indiana Jones, Predator, RoboCop, The Thing, Star Wars, Terminator, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and a spin-off Angel, Planet of the Apes, Let Me In, Ninja Gaiden, Plants vs. Zombies, and Avatar The Last Airbender.
So it's all like pre-existing IP stuff.
That's what it sounds like. I'm not really seeing a whole lot of original things. But I could also be wrong with that because I'm just kind of just very briefly just skimming over this thing.
Apex.
Oh, did they do Apex too? That's funny.
Oh, I'm just seeing like an overview thing, and it has like Cuphead. It's got Tomb Raider. It's got Apex. It's got Overwatch.
I mean, also listed films. It says films produced as well through them: The Mask, Hellboy, The Crooked Man, Son of the Mask, Time Cop, Mystery Men.
Mr. Man's great.
Yeah. So I mean, they've done a bunch of different stuff. It looks like. Yeah. So Dark Horse and Magic are getting together to do a story about Elspeth, which should be cool.
Yeah.
But, all right, so, well, for that being the end, really, like I said, other than that right there, what did you think of MagicCon Vegas? Do you think it was similar to the other ones, or do you think this one was a little bit lesser so? Like,
Well, it was really only about Edge,
Yeah.
Eternity. You know, from what so you knew more than I did going in.
yeah,
I thought it would have more Avatar stuff.
yeah. It's weird that Avatar comes out in November and there's no pre-orders for it. Also,
No pre-orders. Maybe, and also maybe I thought they were going to talk about Spider-Man.
That's
Spider-Man's
what I
coming
was
out.
about to say. Is that like I wanted to look at that real quick.
I think that comes out in August.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the fact that that's coming out and they're not talking about it was like, interesting. There's pre-orders for it everywhere. Let me see here. Spider-Man, September.
Oh, September. Okay. I mean, that's even
Still,
sooner in there.
Yeah.
They haven't shown anything for that.
Yeah, no. The only thing we've seen from that is some of the cards from the Marvel Spider box.
That's all. It's already sold out. Everything's sold out. So
yeah, I mean you're seeing it right here because DeNutte's seeing it on my screen. Other than the Play Booster box, everything's sold out. There's no Commander decks with this, by the way.
Okay.
No
it's a
commanders.
small set.
Yep. No, it's a regular size set, just no commanders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that means it's going to be hopefully purely Spider-Man, because
yeah,
and not other stuff.
I mean my original thought was that this was going to be like a test run for them going into doing a Marvel set, because we are getting a Marvel set eventually, and I always thought, like, as bad as it sounds, like this would be the introduction into it, sort of thing.
And also Marvel's still, it's hidden, having another wave of popularity because of Rivals, because Rivals is still super popular.
And
that's not so much like the MCE cinematic universe. That's it's the actual Marvel comic stuff.
And it's interesting as well, because the funny thing with this, and I think I may have told you this earlier or last time, is so Magic owns the copyright for physical cards.
Yes.
They do not own the copyright and licensing for digital cards. So when this set comes...
Who's that, Ravensburger? Not Ravensburger.
No, I'm not sure who does. But when the set comes out, though, on Magic Arena and Magic Online, the cards are going to be fully changed names. And all in-universe names. And in-universe cards. Because they don't have the rights to use Spider-Man digitally.
Spider-Man's always been as far as Marvel goes, Spider-Man's always been the black sheep, because Disney doesn't own Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's very weird.
So that's another thing, is that maybe that was the easiest one to get through Sony, because I think Sony has the rights to Spider-Man.
I do believe so.
So because even I remember back original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, going to see it in Regal Cinemas. Big thing was I love movies. I love going to the movies. So I used to get a lot of gift cards to Regal, and you could not use gift cards or passes to see Spider-Man, because you couldn't use it on Sony movies, because Sony was always super weird with licensing. Mm-hmm. That they're no, we don't, we want to actually see the income gross come in.
Yeah, well, it's gonna bring up an interesting thing, because you're gonna have Spider-Man, right? Let's say the sensational Spider-Man. Yeah. And then on MTG Arena and MTG Online, you're going to have a different version of the card. That's the exact same mechanics, exact same everything. It's just the art and the name is different. But then what happens then if this version starts to get popular and people who play regular cards want this version?
Yeah.
But I agree, though. I was surprised that we didn't see anything Spider-Man related out of this whole thing. It was nice getting a little tease, if we can even call it that, at 2026.
I don't know. I feel like we have more questions now than we did before.
Yes, I mean, and it's unfortunate, because we're going through this thing now where, and this was this may be a podcast episode that we do later on, like next week or in a couple weeks, where we're having universes beyond problem, and it's officially become a problem now. Before it was just a nuisance. Now it is we're seeing it now becoming a problem, because Tarkir just ended, and during the Tarkir, even when Tarkir was coming out, it was getting overshadowed by Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
and we're seeing the same thing now, where Edge of Eternities is coming out, and it's getting overshadowed by Avatar, and by the time Edge of Eternities gets closer, it's going to be getting overshadowed by Spider-Man.
So it was funny, because even at PAX, they had two sides of their booth for Magic. One was a Tarkir thing, which you didn't play it, but they gave you boosters, and there's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then the other side was you just took pictures in a Final Fantasy setting, and the lines for that were maxed the whole day.
This thing, I understand it from a financial standpoint, right? It's making bank. However, from a player standpoint, like I said, this is an interesting one. I've actually thought about potentially even trying to figure out a way to change the podcast look so we can have 3 people on. and bring on another person that is a big Magic guy and have him come talk as well. And maybe even 4 people on and have all 4 of us just run our mouths.
A little panel.
Yeah, right? And just because it is one of those things where it's starting to become an issue now. I think Final Fantasy is the thing that's made it pushed over into it becoming an issue. But I do agree, though, this was a big Edge of Eternities thing.
Yeah, and if you're super jazzed about that,
yeah.
Cool. Because then even, like, the Final Fantasy panel at PAX was huge, but, like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
the more they talked about Edge of Eternities, the more in the back of my mind, I said it quickly during the video, was or during our reaction, was that I wish we were back to blocks, because block sets to me were perfect for Magic, because you could actually tell a story, you could flesh out a story, and you didn't have to cram cards in. Because like
this just feels like, here's this story, okay, story's over. Here's this next story, okay, story's over. Here's this next story.
I mean, the fact
here's Universes Beyond, which is its own contained thing that is not in the universe, but it's still a set that you could play with the universe.
Because like how fast Bloomburrow and Duskmourn just flew by.
Because these are all the Universes Beyond are now standard legal after Lord of the Rings, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's like a whole thing in and of itself.
Yeah. So it's just it's one of those issues where like they're never gonna do it. They're never gonna go back to blocks. However, I wish that they would, even if it was just a 2-set. Even if it was just a 2-set block. Like what we used to have with Innistrad, which we had with Ixalan. Like, a 2-set would be cool even. But
money.
Yeah, that's the
money.
issue. Is that they can just jam everything into one set and then
My
go,
thing is, all right,
Avatar.
so I'm like, because we were kind of talking about so it's not set prices, like they've changed that years ago. So it's not like, so now like, like the Tarkir collectors with 24 or whatever.
Yep.
Final Fantasy were 70. Where does what is it?
So Edge of Eternities right now is right now
25. Yeah, and then like
Spider-Man is currently unavailable, but
I'm available. So but like,
don't steal my information.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So I bought the Spider-Man collector booster for. Oh, did I really do that?
Yep, sure did.
Yep, I sure did. $37.99 right there.
Oh, tax. So like, does MTG, do they see that cost, or is it like they sell it flat to all these companies and then like they sell it and then like these like it's almost like the monopolized, like they're like, hey, it's like almost like is it like gas, right? They sell it's the barrels this and then they sell it that, or like is it is it $20 for a collector booster and then they're like, then everyone's like, yeah, the value's now set at this because okay, or it's $50 for.
No, that's a misleading one.
Oh, is that just the box?
That's just the box.
Oh, nightmare. Okay, $50 for just the box, nothing in it. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's because as soon as you said 50, I'm like, nope. Not Commander. Sorry, this one here. So Final Fantasy right now, a straight collector booster, as you can see from the look on DeNutte's face, is $100.
No, but the go up.
Yeah.
That's what I was like.
This is for
it's 24 of them.
24.
It's 24
for 24 collector booster displays, right? So you get 12 in there. I do believe it is. It is $45,000 to buy as of right now. Right now, filming this. This is Monday night. Yeah, that's right. We're breaking the fourth wall a little bit. Monday, June 23rd at 8 p.m. It is $1,173 to buy a collector booster display of Final Fantasy. Now, if I get rid of that,
even that's like not a good deal. Like that one that's 45,000. That's $156 per pack.
So now,
oh my God.
So now, if I go Bloomburrow is $350.
Yeah.
And that's a set that people liked. And then if we get rid of Bloomburrow, let's go Tarkir. Right, another one that people like. Tarkir right now is sitting at a whopping $230.
Yeah.
It's actually wildly low, I feel like. Let's go with a set
What's
that
a Lord
nobody
of the
liked.
Rings? Let's go. Oh, okay. Aether Drift.
Let's
Yeah.
go Aether Drift real quick. Set that no one liked. 180. You can buy a collector booster pack.
What's a Lord of the Rings going for right now? Just out of curiosity.
$15.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's like what it was when I started.
Lord of the Universe Beyond Lord of the Rings. So it depends.
Okay, that's Middle Earth. Yeah, that's the.
So
yeah,
you can buy the regular version.
Yeah.
It is between let's just say 900. Let's round it up.
900. Yeah.
Now to buy the holiday special version, it is almost $2,000. It's almost $200 to buy these, which, mind you, when these first came out, they were $24, and I bought 5 of them. Because I was like, nope, not having this problem again. And a regular collector booster is now down. It's down to $75.
I think the most I paid for one was 30.
Yeah.
I think I bought 3 of them. I bought 3 of them.
Yeah. So I mean,
actually, no, I bought 3 of them at 30, which is like at that time I was like, that's a night. What are we doing?
I just need to see.
Yeah.
An Assassin's Creed display
200.
is 200, and a box and a pack itself is 24. So yeah, so you're seeing there's a drastic difference depending on what it is. Because I mean, like even
so that's like, what am I saying? Like, is Magic selling? That doesn't shock me at all. Those decks sucked. It was cool though. A collector booster sample's $11.
Yeah, those are wild when the samples are like $11.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's like, what is the breakdown? Because it's like, do they sell a flat price to Amazon and these stores?
Yeah, like
how does it?
How does it work
I'd like
for
to
them?
like. I want to know like the inner like, because like, it's funny because it's like, these stores are like, yeah, like I know some of these stores are like, I have the lowest prices, and I look and I'm like, say like.
I had the lowest prices.
I remember specifically like when Lord of the Rings came out, there like we had the lowest prices, and I was like, it's $55.
Yeah.
Like the other store I went to was like, okay, it was $65. It's $10 less, but it's still $55. Like, what is that just because you're like, I'm underselling and I want to make money, or is it like
the Lord of the Rings one as well is weird because the Lord of the
I know
Rings
I had that whole thing, but
not even that. So the Lord of the Rings one also was they did one run and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all they're ever doing. So whatever cards they produced in that one run, that's it. Like we're never gonna see those cards again. Like they made sure of it. They said like that's with some of these other ones. I think they're gonna redo them again eventually, or like put them in different sets, or change the name of them, or like that sort of thing, right? But yeah, no, it's very interesting seeing the way that the Magic community once the prices did what they did. Because I pre-ordered as soon as the last MagicCon came out. Because I remember telling you. I was like, I just did all the pre-ordering. I did this. And I did my pre-ordering within 30 minutes because I told my friend Billy, ours here. Hi, Billy. I told him, because he's a massive Final Fantasy fan. I was like, dude, they're on Amazon right now. Go. 30 minutes later, he sent me a message saying, I can't find them. And I went and looked, and everything was sold out but the starter packs.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
Well, it's a weird thing. It's almost like it's not the time to get into it.
Really, I mean, it's very odd.
Unless you don't care, unless you just want to care about having cards, get a Tarkir set, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it seems. Because I'm also
seeing
is the Pokemon side of things now starting to creep into Magic, where like you're seeing the scalpers come in and the people just buying the packs and open and being like, I have no idea what any of this is. I just pulled a $50 card, like that sort of thing. But they have no idea what any of the cards are. They don't know what they do. They have no idea what it is. They're just pulling cards because they want to pull the big thing, and then sell it. And I'm seeing more of that slowly creeping into Magic, and I'm wondering if that is because of Universes Beyond, or because Pokemon scalping is getting so bad that now people are starting to look into other games.
Well, I think also Magic's like framing it around that too, because like they have all these heaters, and like why even make like these Japanese showcase cards and all these crazy showcase cards that like they're like, oh, they're rare.
Yeah, because I mean, if I go back to TCG Player real quick, Magic, Final Fantasy, show me just single cards, high to low. Yeah, DeNutte just saw the first look at the chocobos. Yeah, the chocobos are all over $1,000 each. And that's the big one. Like, those are the big ones. Those are the big pulls.
They're very cool. I love that pink one. But
Yeah, that's the one that has all of them.
yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, like, even these, like, these just here. 300, 380, 280, 200, 170, 100, 150, 100, 160. Like, it's insane. And this is the end of the first page. The lowest price one is 70. If I go to page 4, the lowest priced one is $10. Page 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's insane because it's like,
Whew.
yeah, I don't know. Edge of Eternities is interesting.
Yeah.
Not interesting enough to make me want to buy a lot of it because like, it's just not a set for me. I'm probably gonna.
I've just really I haven't bought cards in a while because
Yeah.
I'm like I just nothing. I'm like I don't really care.
I bought Tarkir, and Tarkir was the biggest one.
I'm gonna buy Avatar. I think the last one I got was Fallout, and I was like super disappointed. I think that was it.
Yep.
And so because like those decks, like you know, like a precon is supposed to be, okay.
yeah, okay,
I may be talking out of my butt, but like.
Yeah.
Those cards are severely underpowered.
Yeah.
Those decks.
It was very when we played so far with you using those. It's been very.
Yeah. So, the one okay deck is the one I don't have.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna get Avatar. I'll go and I'll leave it there. I don't know.
Yep.
Spider-Man's gonna be cool, but like with how much it's gonna cost at this point, I'm not gonna get any.
I mean, everything's already sold out. And like I said, I bought a collector booster on day one of it being pre-order, and it was
For
$37.
$50.
Yeah, it was 30.
That was 37. That's already 38. Yeah. Ugh.
You know, it's just like
it is what yeah.
it's like. Because that's the thing is like I'm not buying massively into these sets anymore, unless it's one that I'm like when Strixhaven comes around. You're gonna see me do what I did for Tarkir. I'm gonna buy a couple collector boosters.
And how are you happy with Tarkir?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Like I have right now. I mean, mind you can't really see, but up there I have. So I bought the Precon.
I can see it.
Well, no, so the Precon's over there. So I bought the Precon, and I love the Precon, but it's drastically different than what I wanted.
Yeah.
Therefore, the Precon is staying the Precon, and I'm still gonna build another Obzon deck with my old cards and cards up there. I also have a Mardu deck I'm working on, and I have a Teamer deck up there that I'm working on.
Yeah.
This mixing cards from the old set and the new set. And those were the 3 ones that I liked anyway, from the original, so it worked really well. So that's why I'm excited about Strixhaven, is because I want to get back to Strixhaven, because I haven't put together my Silver Quill deck of the shirt that I'm actually wearing right now. I haven't actually put the deck together, but I have my deck list started. And now that I know this is coming out, it's like I might as well just wait. No point in me fully trying to put this deck together.
When we went to PAX, Kat was like, "Oh, we were looking at like Magic tables or Magic booths." She's like, "Oh, I like all these cards." I'm like, "Yeah, they're way overpriced. If you really want to build a deck, look online. It's going to be half the price of these cards." And you can you can see what you want. You can even go through guides. And she got mad at me. I'm like, no. This is for like the people who are like care about the money of Magic. Like they're trading, they're doing these things. Like
I will say this as well. This is a me thing, right? So if might not agree with you, you guys may not agree with this either. But for me, if you're going to build a deck, buy the cheapest version of the card.
Yeah.
And then once you have the deck, you like the deck is where you want it. If you want to put money into getting the more expensive version, then do it then. Because there's no point in buying the cards to the deck, playing the deck, having the deck shit itself out, and now it's like, cool, I have a $75 card that doesn't work well in this deck.
I have cards that are nice cards that I've pulled, or I bought Secret Lair cards that I'm going to frame. I'm not even going to play those cards. I have the Fallout special deck, the special set, and I'm going to frame that. It's literally sitting on my PC behind my monitor. It's like stuff I have that I'm just like, I need to. Yeah, I'm going to frame those.
Yeah, because like when I did the Sauron deck, mind you, I bought a lot of those cards that I did buy in that are the better version, but it's because I played the version of that deck on MTG Arena, and it worked, and I saw how it worked. You know, so like I kind of already had an idea. So, but there's a lot of cards in there though that I still want to get the better version of, and I just haven't. So a little side note, but you know, I mean, it's yet again, it was 40 minutes talking about a set that I don't really care too much about. There's a lot of cool things that were just shown, but at the same time, it doesn't get me like amped up and wanting to go to Edge of Eternities. You know. Because they showed us all the cards for Edge of Eternities, and then they showed us a really dope animation of someone drawing the Aang card. And then we moved on to next year's stuff, which was people getting excited about because it was going back to Lorwyn.
Oh my god.
Excited about going back to Strixhaven. What's that?
I was just looking at how much the special cards are going for.
Oh, yeah.
More.
Yep. You can only imagine.
Yeah.
So... yeah, that's all I got.
That's Magic right now, baby.
Yeah, Magic really is just kind of one of those
talking
things.
about what we were talking about later, but it ended up coming out anyways.
Yep, and so maybe we'd go more in depth later. Who knows? Anything else from DeNutte?
Magic's not an affordable nerd hobby anymore.
Nope.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Nope, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Magic is becoming a non-affordable nerd hobby. So,
unless you just get singles of like old stuff that you're like, this works for me.
Yeah. Honestly, Scryfall. If you haven't tried the website Scryfall, try the website Scryfall. I've been using it a lot more recently, and I really like it because you can literally look up terms, and just like it will find everything based off of that term. So like I could write in Silver Quill, any card that has Silver Quill in it. At anywhere in the card.
Goldfish is pretty good too. Is it called Goldfish?
Yep, Goldfish is another really good one.
That's for like building, but don't buy from them because they're way too expensive.
Oh yeah. But yeah, stay cool, guys. Thank you all for stopping by and hanging out today. Appreciate it as always. And depending on where you are,
I am gonna.
Morning, afternoon, even night. Stay safe. And we talk to you later. I've been seeing you sweating this whole time, and I'm trying not to.
So hot. I'm pretty good with heat. Oh my god, it's so hot.
Bye.
Oh.